What's up, everyone? Welcome back to episode 3 of We Three Kings. Boggs, Laz, and Pineapple Phillips with you, getting into season 44 of ESL Challenger League. And well, it's a new year, it's a new season. It's good to be back with you all. Gentlemen, Laz, start with you. How was your holiday?
Hey, holidays were good. Holidays were a good time. It was a nice break. But you know what? I'll be honest. I'm pretty excited to come back to the action now. I'm excited to be back into routine. And yeah, it's good to be back, boys. It's nice to see you both.
Likewise, I would say the break was too long. I'm already rusty. I need to get back into it. And I'm happy to be back.
Man, talk about rust. I did a cast for the first time like a week ago. And I was like, wow, I got to remember to do this. This is not easy anymore.
I really did forget how to speak, didn't I?
Yeah, English is hard.
That's going to be me in 2 days.
Yeah, there you
go. Well, we decided we'd start this one off with a hot take segment. Hot takes going into season 44. Now let's start with Nate because he's the king of the hot takes. This man is the hot take generator. You push a couple buttons and boom, out spits a hot take. Hit us with your first one, Nate.
This is just very general. Okay. Well, I'll just talk about groups. I think we start with one of the two groups, Group A and Group B, of course. Group A seems to be the easier of the two for me personally. I would say by far the team that I think is going to lag behind the most is Postmortem, also known as Noxious. Is it Noxious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
So it's confusing. You look at the ESEA page and Group A is below.
Yeah.
So I got confused for a minute there.
TV here.
Yeah. So Postmortem, they're already put as a number 8. I do think they are the worst team in this bracket or in this group by far, and I do think they are going to get insta relegated.
I think so.
Dang. Boggs, you go ahead. I'll do mine last.
Okay. I don't think that's a hot take at all. Actually, I think that's just the accurate take. To be honest with you, I think that's a pretty measured take. My hot take is Vendetta will finish second in Group A, and now will be on the verge of maybe not even making it into playoffs.
Damn. Okay.
I agree with that. So I don't think it's that hot of a take. I would have said purely off of kind of a history. Vendetta's a new squad, so they're kind of unknown. But I do think they are a team that's full of firepower. Sigzy specifically is the one that comes to mind on that roster, but everybody is capable of popping off.
Consti?
Yeah, Consti. It's just really a roster that doesn't have a cap that we know of yet, and Nouns have looked really disappointing coming out of the offseason. So those two combining really does seem like it sets up Vendetta for a very good and surprising dark horse run this season.
Okay. Okay, I'll do mine. It's and again, disclaimer, it's not a bash. It's not there's no bad blood between this group, but I'm going to call out Davenport and hope to God they can get more than one win than we saw last season. So that's my spicy take. And I mean that with all respect, but I just want to make sure, like, I think it can be done, but the expectations there. I'm waiting for it.
I mean, they do add Dangerous and Austin, which I think are two very good add-ons.
Yeah.
And I think they get stronger with the changes they made.
I agree.
I don't think they got weaker. I know there's a lot of, oh no, why did they cut Kojo? This team as a whole has gotten stronger in the offseason.
Yeah, no, I think so too. That's why I'm kind of calling them out, right? It's like, I know their the first time in ECL as an organization together. It was their first ever to do it. But yeah, I think Dangerous coming in and, having like Austin on there as well. I mean, this is some seasoned players that have been in the division before. So I think that's what they need. I think they need some just like in-game leadership and mentorship that way. So I think this will be good for them. But like I said, my hot take is let's hope they get more than one win this season. So.
All right. Well, I got another hot take here.
Let's hear it.
I think EG Black will have an incredibly disappointing season and may miss out on playoffs.
That is a hot take now. That is a hot take.
Oh, you upset Nate. You have upset Nate.
I'm not upset. Okay. I want to say though, your first hot take, I could get behind. This one, I'm not so sure. I don't know. I'm not too hot on Strife. They kind of fallen off recently. Davenport, they have made good pickups and have moved in the right direction. Mythic, I write them off always. They're going to get 7th or 6th. They're going to stay in the league, and they're going to sit there as they always do. So I think that doesn't leave a lot of room. I think EG Black, almost just because of the other teams that constitute this group, are going to make playoffs. I don't think they're going to be at the upper end. I do think Made in Brazil obviously should have number 1 unless something crazy happens, and Vendetta could be number 2 or number 3, but I do think EG Black should be at least a gimme in the playoffs.
Okay, and I gotta ask you guys because I was a little bit confused about this when I was looking at the pages or the team pages and stuff like that. But like when you look at EG, it doesn't like really specify on like the actual ESA site like EG Black. It just says EG. So I was getting a little confused because you see like Ponalone on there, you see people like Hex on there. And I was like, I don't really understand what's going on. And I know last season they were in there, but I know they weren't like counted as a team. But like it seems like that's still the same thing? Question mark.
Yeah, it's just I think they keep everyone on there because they use the same team for like qualifiers, events, that sort of thing. So I think that's why they have everybody on the roster there. Now, the other question would be, who is going to replace Wiz? Because you see here, active roster, Wiz, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wiz got promoted officially to the EG main roster to replace Cirque.
Yeah.
Who are they going to bring in to replace Wiz? They played the Flom Cup with Junior. There's been no announcement made. I don't know if Junior's still under contract with anybody. I don't know the whole situation there. Is Junior going to play on this EG roster? If not, who the hell do they pick up?
Yeah, honestly, I thought Junior was going to be the pick. I thought he was probably the most obvious pick in a way, just because he was like that free agent that's been kind of floating around. I thought his contract was done, but I could be very incorrect on that. But I mean, they need to figure out somebody that can opt. And I mean, Junior is probably the perfect pick in terms of like a consistent performance in this kind of level. I think, Junior unfortunately has just not been able to perform at a level above this, but I think right now this could be a good way for him to get comfortable again.
I would agree. I think Oppers in NA specifically, just really hard to come by, like a very solid one. Junior was one of those players that really struggled in the tier 1, but I think he'll be a more than serviceable stand-in for a while until they find someone they really want to work with.
I mean, season starts next week. EG don't have a lot of time to figure out who they're going to have as an opper. And they haven't made an announcement yet. I know roster locks happen as well, so they'd have to go through a transfer process. I'm not too sure the details of how that works. But they've already had the roster lock, at least for the initial roster applications. Had to be handed in, I believe, last week to ESL, ESEA. So what is EG going to do? Who are they going to announce? I know they announced Momo was joining, I believe, the EG White squad, too. That was a part of the announcement, the tweet with Wiz, which... Or not with Wiz, with...
I
know. Why am I drawing a blank? Why am I drawing a blank?
It's been a long day, apparently, for both of us.
Where's their freaking roster? George, the official George announcement.
Yes.
The official George announcement had Momo joining as well, I believe, on the white roster. Honestly, it almost feels to me like EG White is kind of just wasting away on the sidelines when we could have had another team that could knock out some of these lower level teams that don't really do anything in ECL.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting move. I mean, it is what it is. But I was, again, we're talking about EG Black, and I can't figure it out because I know I read the article about, for Junior to be participating in the cup, the Flom Cup and everything like that too. And I know they lended him out. And they even made a bit of a, little mark on there like, well, he's open for transfers. He's open for offers. So it makes me wonder if EG want to kind of spend some dollars maybe to get him. Maybe he's on the cheaper end of things now with his contract being close to being done. I think it's not too far. Most players typically sign, I think it's like 2-year contracts for the most part. So I think he's been close. But I mean, it's whether EG want to, blow more money on this. But I mean, ain't no strangers to that, right?
Oh, yeah, that's very true.
No BM. I mean that in the nicest way too.
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm coming in just like guns blazing, like making chirps, but I mean in the nicest way. I'm super Canadian too.
No.
No, eh?
I think it's good to be critical of the EG project because it's the first time in a long time we've had somebody with money come in and actually try to build something, and so we always obviously want what's best for the scene as a whole. So when you're talking about being very critical of a project as big as this, it's because you have the scene at heart. So I don't think there's any issues talking about EG Black. It sounds disparaging, but it's not really disparaging.
I mean, I would say his blueprint as a whole.
Yeah.
I thought, honestly, George was going to get promoted straight to the EG main roster as well.
Yeah, that was a little shocking. We saw what he did
at the RMR. He was insane. He carried Nouns at the RMR up against some very, very good competition. Where was his invite to the EG main team? I feel like he deserves a spot more than, honestly, half of the team. So I think that's another question too. Yes, you want to get him in the farm team in a sense, but why not just go out, make your free agent acquisition, or I don't even know if we've technically counted as a free agent if they had to pay a buyout. The whole Nouns contract situation, I believe, is also another story, which I don't know too much about, so I'm not going to make a comment on. But why do you not just pick up somebody who did that at the Road to Rio and not give him a shot on the main roster? It seems like a waste of talent to me there as well. He's a guy who's ready for the next step. He's ready for the next jump. That tournament showed it. Give him the shot. What can it hurt? What harm could it do? You could just send him back down if you don't like what he did.
Yeah, no, yeah. I completely agree. Nate, I'll let you go ahead though.
I was just gonna say, give him a shot if it doesn't work exactly what Bog said, but it does feel like he's a player that the only thing he had to gain from this squad was potentially a paycheck, let's be honest, and B, a shot at the bigger stage. So it does leave me wanting more for him. I feel like that was kind of the big step and what I would have expected with him signing with EG.
Yeah, and the thing that's weird too is again, he was on, with the other group as well. And it's like he just left, so he's kind of back into the same division. So it doesn't really make any sense. It's like, yeah, he's with more of a recognizable brand, I guess, an organization with some stability and stuff like that. But it seems weird. Like you almost would have thought okay, his next step is going to be the main stage, but now it just kind of seems like he did a lateral movement in some degree. So that's why I've been scratching my head ever since I saw that announcement. But maybe this is the season where he just farms and they say, okay, George, you're ready. You can come back in now and we're going to give you a shot.
Maybe. We'll see. Any more hot takes though before we hop into the rest of our ECL season 44 breakdown?
I'll bring one. And I know this is going to upset a particular individual in this Three Kings, but I will say, can Detonate do it? Can Detonate make playoffs? Can Detonate? Can they succeed? My answer is no.
My answer is probably no.
Oh wow, we agree. I got him to agree.
I think looking at these brackets is again very apparent. There's a very clear stack with one group being tougher and top heavy over the other. Pain, ATK, Team 1, Timberman. That's basically your playoffs already set. Let's be honest. Timberman are always sneaking in. They're always getting 5th to 6th. My hot take about them making a deep run didn't happen last time. Probably won't happen this time, but they're definitely going to shut Detonate out unless something big happened there.
Okay. I can't believe it. New year, new Nate, apparently. It's incredible.
He's a realist.
It is true. Yes. And I agree with him. I thought he was going to say, nah, man, Detonate. They're going in. They're going to get top 5.
They could, but they have to show me that they can do it first.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
I've become much more cynical now. Yeah, they haven't proven it. Exactly. Much more cynical, much more realist, I think is the approach here for 2023.
And I'll just throw in my last quick one too. And it's more based off recent events, but I don't know what the hell's going on with Nouns right now. I'll be honest, holy, that's been a train wreck to watch. Maybe an off week, off 2 weeks, but wow. I put them on a big hype train earlier on the episodes. I was talking about this. I was like, yeah, Nouns, they could do some sick things, but I don't know. I'm not feeling the same confidence I saw before, but I still have them as some of my top picks, but I'll just say I'm nervous for them.
I wholeheartedly agree. I think Nouns is on the struggle bus. We talked about it, I think, at the end of the last season where we said there should be a rebuilding period for them, where they should rebuild around some of the players they have, maybe try to do something. Then they lost Sigsy, and we're like, okay, this is kind of a bad situation. And they didn't rebuild. They had the players that they subbed in last time. We talked about CJ. Stamina's okay. Stamina could work. And in fact, he was a really solid piece for what they needed to fill in the moment. But I feel like they definitely should have rebuilt this roster, revamped this roster, and they simply haven't.
Yeah. I feel like there's a very big skill drop-off from the Nouns we saw that made the run at the Road to Rio. That was even finishing up season 43. And the Nouns we see now. They're two completely different teams at this point. For crying out loud, the core is down to 2. B-Wolves and Cynic. From the original Nouns core.
We had George, we had Sigsy, the 2 heavy hitters, and then I still question the Jazzpint move. Again, Jazzpint made his LAN debut. We replaced him with Carson, and I've not seen a convincing play from Carson that is not simply a win harder situation. I'm still scratching my head about that move, and honestly, just bring him back. Filming for anybody here at this point.
I don't think Jaspimp's on a team right now.
He's not. He's gone. I don't
Looks
know where
like
he
he's
is.
looks like he's still on the roster for Nouns. Like if you go on their ESA page, like he's just kind of floating on there right now. But I don't think he's actually on a team. So they probably kept him on probably for the roster rules and things like that too, right? An original member. Yeah. So he's probably floating on there. And yeah, I mean, like again, like I'm a little bit torn because and again, I don't want to call any shade on him, but I think Boggs, you mentioned this too in the other episode, is that CJ to me is a player that I thought was a good temporary fit. I don't know if I think he's a permanent fit right now. I think his performance is just not the firepower they need. It's again, no disrespect to CJ, but I mean, I think there was some other options they probably could have worked around with, but I mean, I can be proven wrong here, I guess, for season 44. I don't know.
Well, that's, I think, what we want all of North America to do is prove us wrong. Right?
That's about right.
I think that's fair. Because at this point in the game, it's like, NA expectations, our expectations are none, if not bad.
Yeah, it's true. We have very low standards here in NA. It's a good and bad thing, really. Like, that's why I was kind of throwing a little shade on Davenport. Like, hey, listen, like, you don't have much to go with here. You got one win, you get two. You've already beaten my expectations. You guys have done it. So, like, and again, I love that team and I love that organization, but it's like, man, we can have a little bit higher standards here in NA, I think. We're getting a little bit too low on the bar.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's bad when we have higher expectations for the MLS than we do for NACS.
Oh, man. Don't even get me started on that. Oh, my God. That's a whole entire, 3 episodes on its own. Oh, good
Nate
grief.
Just sit here smiling because he doesn't know nothing about sports.
Nate's just like, yeah, cool. Man, that's sports. Yeah, that's where they do the thing with the touchdowns or something, right? Wrong sport.
I would sit here with the muted mic. My buddy is sitting in the wings, going to trade me all the Pokemon from the other Pokemon game to complete my Pokedex. So I'd probably do that in the background while you guys discuss soccer.
Fair enough.
I'm being completely honest.
Hey, that's okay. Well, don't worry. We'll talk about Counter-Strike.
Thank God.
I think so. That was the goal, right? That was kind of what we set out to do today.
Yeah, I think so.
Talk about Counter-Strike.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then why don't we look at the groups and kind of we kind of through the hot takes gave ourselves a bit of a preliminary overview. But why don't we really go give some rankings, how we think teams are going to finish. And I want to see overall power rankings for the entire league.
Oh.
From y'all. I want to see how you guys have this all hashed out, because I have a whole Excel sheet over here with everything color coded and nice and neat. I want to see how things stack up and if you guys think I'm taking some pretty heavy gambles.
Okay, let's hear it. You know what? You sound like you got it ready to go. I actually would love to hear your take on this, and then Nate and I can just
shotgun him.
Let's hear it.
I'm going off my gut in this one, so I want to hear him shotgun it. We'll give our gut takes, and then we'll see. We'll hear Boggs's, I have no doubt, robust stats about who's where and why.
I didn't make any stats, man. This is all from the gut.
I like it. Let's hear it. I want to hear it. Let's
all right.
throw it.
So let's go with Group A first. MIBR obviously finishing first. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Number 2, I think this is where people are going to think it's weird. I have Vendetta finishing second in that group.
That's kind of a hot take.
It might be
one of the hot takes. That was one of the hot takes. We said that earlier.
True. You're embedding in this one. Okay.
And then I have Strife at 3rd, EG at 4th. Nouns on the outside, Davenport at 6th, Mythic and Noxious being the auto relegation slot. That's my Group A ranking.
Honestly, that's funny because I did not a full Excel sheet thing, but I did a bit of a power ranking for myself too. And I did actually put Strife over EG, so I can definitely agree with you on that. I kind of have the take as well that EG, I don't think will do as well this season. I think they're going to have a struggle this season. There's something in the air. It's just something telling me, and Canadian wins here in the Great White North that's saying EG's not going to do it. Strife, my Canadian comrades, they're going to do it. I can agree that MIBR will be on first, though. I think they're going to not really get tested that hard. I don't think there's many teams that are going to really push them, to be honest.
I mean, out of the whole league, maybe Pain
Yeah,
and
whole league's different. Yeah, I just meant the group. Sorry.
ATK potentially.
Yeah.
We'll see in Pro League Conference if ATK can take out MIBR. I don't know.
Well, and I'll add one.
topic.
And I'll add one more quick thing because this is something we did talk about too. And I guess I should probably put a little bit of a asterisk on my point because MIBR last season we were talking about the record was horrendous. Like for a team like that, I mean they coasted into playoffs. So I guess my wonder is if they're going to take it a little bit more serious to like go undefeated, or they want to like fight for a big record, or the most perfect record they can get, or do we see the same behavior where we don't know it's true, but I mean it felt like they were kind of just coasting into the playoffs, just making sure they got that spot. So
they did lose Jota, so they might have to play a little more. Not perfect, but a little more high octane. They won't be able to just sit back and lounge the whole time, I don't think, anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be for sure, especially with a Vendetta team, which I think is a lot of scare potential. There's someone who can come out, be a giant killer. ATK ATK is the opposite group, but EG, I think you have to be looking at as a threat because of the organizational support behind them. Strife, I think, should have a better time of it. They did all right at the Mythic Cup. In fact, I think not the Mythic Cup, the Flom Cup. I think they won that. So Strife having a good performance there. And really, if you're MIBR, there's a direct path to Pro League now in ESL Challenger League. So you need to win. You have to win. You have to give yourself the best chance to win. And if you don't do that, why is the org paying you money? So I think they'll have a little more pressure this season, but that's a good point. They might drop to like second or third in the group just because they seem to kind of take it easy in ECL.
Yeah, and
I think the best way to look at it is there any lands happening? Are they having a distraction? Are they taking breaks because of some other tournament? That's what I think was the big issue with ECL last season was the major and the qualifiers, the arm. Yeah, exactly. Kato. Everything was kind of just culminating in a point where they had other things to prioritize. And sure, that kind of functions as practice, but at the same time, it doesn't. It's an entirely different breed of teams they're playing against. And so they just coasted their way through the group. I think not only with that direct path that you mentioned, but also with more focus, they should have a much easier time just taking first in their group.
Well, I found something.
There you go. Yeah.
Kato play-ins, January 31st through February 1st. MIBR right there.
Might be an issue.
Oh, there's the
Pain's there
Pain
too.
But we know Pain will try hard everything. Pain hates to lose.
Yeah, they do.
Pain hates to lose.
That would be if they lose a single match in ECL. If it's not ATK, like that's an upset. In my opinion, there's no team on there. There's no team in the division, with all respect, that is even near their level right now. Like the only team is ATK, and I think even historically and just recently, ATK actually did beat them in like a best of 3. But I mean,
it was the Cash Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it was one of the Cash Cups, right? So I mean, again, like ATK came out of nowhere, beat them. So it's like, okay, that's probably the only contender in my opinion. I don't think there's any other team that's going to do that.
I'd agree. I don't think Team 1's going to be able to do that anymore. I think Team 1's kind of a shadow of what they once were, of the threat they used to be. It
Agreed.
Seems like, it's the same roster that we've seen for how long, but it just doesn't have the same bite anymore. Which
I will say, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. I was kind of worried, honestly. At the end of last season, right? ATK slid a bit. ATK lost to Team 1 and got 4th. Team 1 taking 3rd in the end. I do think Team 1 can still put up a fight. But I think ATK has been putting a lot of work in the in-between that I'm not sure Team 1 are putting in.
That was ATK with a roster change, too. Pretty recent before that, so.
That is true. DJ, I think DJ was the weakling, too. It was what I was kind of getting the gist of when I was reading and looking at the stats. So I'm expecting wholeheartedly that he's been more well integrated into this team, and I'm expecting great things from ATK.
High hopes.
I hopes, eh?
You know what we say about that in NA? High hopes lead to great disappointment.
That is very true. Yes. That's why the bar's low, baby. That's why the
Yep.
bar's low.
We've seen too much.
We have seen too much. Are you doing Group B? Did you do your hot take on, or not your hot take, but your power rankings on Group
I
B?
haven't done my rankings on B.
Okay, I was gonna say I feel like I didn't hear it yet, but I think overall your Group A was pretty spot on. I think the nouns thing for me, that's the last point for me, is that they're just in such a weird spot right now, so I don't really know what to expect from them. But I can't imagine they're gonna come 7th to 8th. Like they got to be above that, so I definitely would put them above Davenport, but it's a toss up, to be honest.
Who do you have higher, Mythic or Davenport?
Davenport.
Davenport higher. So you have Mythic
Davenport.
7th, Davenport 6th.
Yep.
And then you have nouns kicking on the door of playoffs, but not getting in, sitting in that 5th place spot.
Yep.
If we see, if it's the same performance we just saw, I mean, again, that's hard to say. Like, I mean, I know it's just 1 week or 2 weeks or whatever, but it's like, okay, they're not looking great. So let's see if it dusts off the dust a little bit here.
Yeah, and Boggs, one of your hot takes was EG Black not making playoffs. If that happens in this group, they need to disband. they need to. It's a 2-team project now. Okay, with this group, this softball thrown at them, if they somehow strike out against this, it's an issue.
I would say even a single's not enough. You should be looking for extra bases here.
Yeah. Well, I think you did actually pretty good with that, Boggs. I feel like there wasn't that much discrepancy, to be honest. So that's actually pretty good.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I know. Maybe we could all be right, or we can all be wrong here.
We could all be right, or we could all be in for a big surprise. Where
someone's gonna clip this and just say, "Told you so."
I will say, I do think that Vendetta, we're riding high on Vendetta, and I do think we're riding a little bit low on EG Black because we still haven't seen them prove themselves too much. They've been challenged as much as we would like, but again, I think it for the most part makes sense.
I mean, it is a preseason ranking, and what we have to go on is a preseason tournament and last season and speculation. So theoretically, it shouldn't be correct. If this is correct, there's something seriously wrong with the teams as a whole, because that means nobody got better over the course of the season. Yeah. So there is that. Now let's look at Group B. I have nothing changed from the top 4, as you see here on HLTV. Payne, obviously, number 1. ATK, number 2. Team 1, number 3. Timberman, number 4. That's the way I think the top 4 is going to go. Now, where I think there's a little bit of things to play with is when you get down into the 5 through 8 spots. I have Detonate finishing at 5th. And I say that because I feel like the bottom part of this group is not really there. I have Limitless at 6th. Disconnected at 7th, and Villainous going out in 8th.
I agree. I think it's again kind of like the last season where it feels like Group A or one of the groups, it doesn't really matter which one, is far more like compressed in terms of skill. So like this Made in Brazil group, I don't think it has the same lowest lows as the Group B does. Honestly,
Agreed. I think
feel like
that there's one meh team here, and that's Noxious. But when you look at Group B, you have Disconnected and Villainous, which honestly can go either way. I have a little bit of hope for Limitless here. I don't see Limitless going down. I think Limitless can beat both of those two teams.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I'd also agree. I think the only discrepancy or difference I had was I actually put Limitless on 5th, and then I had Detonate on 6th. So
wow,
I can see that.
So I mean, I think
see that. I can see a world where it happens, but it's not a world that I want to be in.
Okay. Let's see how it is. I think it's a good toss up between the two. I definitely agree. I think Villainous and Disconnected are going to be kind of fighting on the bottom of the group, and unfortunately. But I think Limitless could pull some things up. I mean, again, they did quite well the previous season. They made it in now, so they have a lot to prove. So not to say Detonate doesn't, but I don't know. There's something about the Limitless roster. I'm a bit excited for this team. They're kind of my little, I don't want to call them a dark horse, but I definitely want to call them a team I'm going to be looking out for a lot this season, especially with the roster that we can see right now. Like Maxwell is one person that's already a massive standout to me in the clear obvious.
I mean, they qualified for the league without Maxwell.
That's pretty nuts.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Cameron? Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and
assuming, yeah.
and I think if I'm not mistaken, Cameron played pretty well in addition to without Maxwell. So that's okay, there we go. Thank you. Have another player that's stepping up, going up to the plate. I love it. Love to see it.
Boggs, was it? We commentated one of the Limitless relegation games. I think it was versus Detonate.
We did Limitless Detonate and Limitless. Who played Rain?
My inside sources told me that was a snooze fest.
The Limitless Rain one was definitely both teams nerving the heck out.
Yeah.
It was not pretty. But I think the team that deserved it got it.
It was like trying to play football on a very, very muddy field.
Not gonna have a good time.
No.
Or everybody was scared about losing the ball at that point. Like, it was so slow.
Which hasn't frozen over.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like it was bad. It was not pretty. But I will say, from that Detonate Limitless, it was Scar on map 3. And just had a raid boss game. Dropped was it like 20 kills? Something beyond that in the first half? Something just absolutely ridiculous. Boggs, I can tell, is already pulling up the stats on his top monitor.
No,
I'm looking.
It was close to 30.
On the first half?
30 in the first half?
It was close to 30 in the first half. Let's look this up.
Oh man, that's nuts.
No, he only dropped 24 kills total.
Oh, he did.
See, it was T
19.
side. He 19.
Yeah,
19. 19.
It's pretty nuts.
Still
though.
a 1.76 rating for him.
On a T side.
On the losing team. On the losing side. Like,
losing side of T side.
They got 5 rounds on T side. They got 3 on CT.
That's
he
insane.
got 19 kills. The entirety of the rest of his team got 19.
Yeah.
That's quick maths.
It is quick maths. Good job, man.
Wait. Yeah.
13, 16, 19. It is adding up.
Wow.
Damn.
You're one of those guys that can do math on air. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I use my Bachelor of Arts for very good purposes.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Look at us.
He still finished with a 1.37 despite going 5 and 8 on CT.
Yeah, you still did really good. So the point is everybody on this team, or most people on this team, can pop off. And again, they were playing with Nyx instead of Maxwell, as you mentioned, who did have a difficult series. So this team definitely has high highs that they can reach, and if they put in the effort, they put in the practice. I know they have an interesting coach behind them. I don't know exactly who it is, but Coastal at the very least. So someone in the wings to help them out. I'm expecting Limitless to do something. I'm expecting Limitless to prove, much like Detonate did 2 or 3 seasons ago now, that they deserve to be in this league.
I'd agree. I think that they're not going to be a yo-yo team. I think they're going to be more of those teams that can fight in the relegation playoff and stick around and not have to go down and run it back into ECL, kind of do a Davenport, where that's up and down and up and down and up and down. They're a yo-yo team. I don't think Limitless will be a yo-yo team.
It's been a long time. These teams that aren't yo-yo teams are very few and far between. Mm-hmm. I think we talked about it before in other episodes where it's just so difficult because it's so unrelenting. If you get last place, you're just outright relegated. And if you get 7th or 6th, you get put into the relegation tournament against teams you haven't played and practiced against. And then if you get 5th, then you're safe. So there's not a lot of wiggle room for these teams. And so I think the last team to actually successfully do it would have been Detonate.
Agreed. Now, let's actually revisit that later on. Keep a mental note here to go back and talk about relegation as a whole, because you pose a very good point. And is relegation broken? That's what we'll title it. We'll move that to the back burner for now. Let's finish off the group power rankings and everything before we move on to other subjects. So, you guys have pretty much agreed with my group power rankings. Let's go to the overall full league power ranking. First team on the block, number 1 overall, Pain Gaming has to be. No doubt about that.
Didn't you put ATK as number 1 in their group, or did you put Pain? Pain. Never mind. You did put Pain.
How could I not put Pain?
That's true. I mean, ATK did just beat Pain, and it feels like ATK is the kryptonite of Pain.
They're truly very good against Pain, yes. But Pain, they can bring the pain. I mean, this team is nuts.
Yeah.
Zevi is cracked. They found a replacement for Safe, who is as good, if not better, which I don't know how that's possible. Skulls is incredibly good on the rifle. Then you have PKL, Hardzao, and Bigazetta. That team is stacked.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Furia back in 2019. Ooh. That kind of Furia age. That's kind of what they remind me of. That was a fun time. to be in the North American like ECL level scene, because you got to see Fury up close and personal every week. That was great.
That was amazing. Those are the times. Those are the
Those were
golden days. I would agree with that. I think for me, like Payne, I think anything less than first is a massive disappointment to this roster. Again, just the amount of exposure they've had, tournaments they play, showings they've had, being in majors, like you name it. Like this is the team to beat, but I think they are just too much of a gauntlet to go against. I mean, ATK, in my opinion, maybe we'll see what you guys think. Again, maybe that one team that could upset them, MIBR, maybe. But those are the only teams. But I think Payne should be taking this league hands down.
Yeah, I see a world where ATK get that dream matchup in the playoffs bracket where they can take it to Payne before it gets too late. You know, I feel like they could definitely take it versus Payne, but they would struggle more so versus Made in Brazil. I think it's just the play styles, how they mesh. So I think in the right circumstances, ATK might be able to upset Payne and at least send them to the lower bracket. But I do think Payne aren't disciplined enough and ready enough to bring it back regardless.
I'd agree with that.
Who's number 2, Boggs?
MIBR.
Okay.
As it should be, I think. I mean, Payne and MIBR are the two teams in this whole entire division with the highest amount of organizational support in terms of salary.
Agreed.
Whoa, I think EG Black is paying out the bills, man.
Yeah, they ain't paying no results though. Let's be honest.
I don't know. I feel like Payne and MIBR make more.
That was out of pocket last. I
know. I'm a little ruthless tonight.
Where's this Canadian kindness?
I don't know. It's been a long day. I guess, the Canadian in me is just like, and we're done. So
taking a break. We're taking Americanized in the podcast, I think.
That's true.
I agree, though. Brad Marchand.
Oh my god.
Or not Brad Marchand. Yeah, I was right. Brad Marchand.
Oh my god. I will agree though. I actually did have Payne and MIBR as my top 2. So I think MIBR definitely are that team that should be second or third in this season. Yeah, again, top paid org, really good players. They picked up some new talent, so I think they're looking good.
Number 3, we've talked about them enough. ATK.
Okay.
Enough said.
Fair. I'm very curious to see where you put Team 1 on this. If it's next or if it's either later. I want to know if there's a hot take with Team 1 thrown in here.
There is.
Oh,
Ask and you shall receive. Number 4. In all of ESL Challenger League North America Season 44, Vendetta.
I knew it. I saw it coming a mile away.
This guy's a dreamer.
Vendetta. He said Team 1 was a hot take, and then I knew it. It was going to be
Vendetta.
Vendetta.
Copium, man. Look at the Copium.
This man is fully invested, man. He's fully invested into Vendetta. Selling all of his scrim bucks, selling everything. He wants Vendetta in. And you know what? You're setting yourself up to fail. We talked about this. You have too high of expectations in North America, they're going to come crumbling down. So I would have tactically put Vendetta lower just so they would have better results.
Yeah. I guess I haven't learned from the Bad News Bears, have I?
No, you have not. No, you have not. I can't believe you put Vendetta's 4. Wow. That's the curveball. I was not expecting that.
Who's number 5? That's what I'm worried about now too. Is Team 1 slipping further and further down?
I feel like he's not picking Team 1. He's probably got like some other random team.
He's probably got EG Black. The team he's been trashing the entire time.
Number
5. Okay.
Oh, in serious note, I have Team 1 at number 5.
Okay.
I'm not completely off my rocker yet.
Okay. Interesting.
I think that's fair. I think as well Team 1 could show up again and come back to their former glory. But I think 5th is okay. Although it is a little bit of a disservice just given the fact that we're putting such a new team above them.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like Team 1 are top 4. I just feel like they have to be personally, but listen, I'm pretty amped for your copium on the Vendetta stuff here, but oh man, that is somewhere out of left field. But I mean, if Team 1 don't come top 4, I think that's a big disappointment. You said they're a shadow of themselves, and I think that would be an eye-opening thing saying, yeah, something's not working here. We might need to restructure something too.
I can't believe Boggs is doubting on Malbs, his all-time go-to. He's talking about how Malbs is the GOAT, and he's been talking about it since he started casting, which has been
true.
Pretty much
eons now. So
We could probably find like
Anthony's-
ESL Pro League Season 9, North America, E United versus Infinity Esports.
back when we used clay tablets. Good lord,
man.
old
Seems
dog.
forever ago.
That is forever ago. Don't say it
is
seems.
for-
It is.
It was. I mean, we're on what,
Crazy.
season 17 of Pro League?
Yeah. It's nuts. I don't even understand.
Where's
Jeez.
the time gone?
Where's time gone?
Time to
Oh, boy.
retire.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Who's number
You're not
six?
even going
pension.
gray yet.
Yeah. Talk to me when you get gray hairs, buddy. Then
When
you
you have
can-
gray hairs, are you gatekeeping this?
Yes.
Yeah. Gatekeeping
Oh,
it
my.
hard.
Okay. All right. Well, who's number 6 now? Let's see how far EG Black slides.
It's gotta
Number
be
6
EG.
is Timberman.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Okay,
Get
you know what?
him out
They
of
got 5th to 6th last season. I can see them being 5th to
Get
6th
him
now,
out.
baby.
Get him
Let's
out of
go.
here.
Let's
Oh
go.
my god.
Okay.
What is this power ranking? What is this? Oh my good
Wait,
grief.
you're telling me you have EG at number 6?
I think they could. Yeah, like I mean
Strife over EG, didn't you?
I had
your
Strafe over
group
EG.
ranking?
Yeah, like
How
I
do you have EG over Strife?
No, I'm just saying I just can't believe that you're putting Timberman over them. I personally had a team 1 and then I went to Strife and then I went to EG Black and then I'll wait for my rest
And
of my
then you
list
went to
here.
Timberman.
And then
I
you
mean-
went Davenport.
Davenport to come up with the top 7 because they can do it. I'm throwing copium on this.
I will
now.
say this. Timbermen have made no adjustments to their roster since they were allowed back into advanced, right?
Yep.
It's been this roster for multiple seasons now, and every single time they get 5th to 6th, it feels like they've hit a ceiling. They need to change something drastically in the team mindset and the team style, or they need to make a very tangible roster change. So if neither of those two things happen, they get 5th to 6th at best. If not, they slide further.
Hmm.
Easier said than done on the roster change, though. It's an infamous roster.
It is. Yeah, it is.
I feel like the animosity's kind of gone away a little bit, though, right? I feel like I'm hoping they aren't the way they were before.
I would hope
Um,
so, too.
I hope
just-
they've learned from that, and
just
I do think, yeah, most players hold that grudge, and I can tell as I'm cutting you off, but like,
No, it's
I feel
okay.
like- I feel like I would hope at least that they've kind of fixed things and they've just stuck their nose to the ground and are trying to work as best they can on a healthy team environment.
I think I'm still just baffled about EG Black being lower than them. Like, I just can't even take this right now. Like, I mean, I've been bashing them all episode, but I'm like, man, damn.
I would
I've
agree.
lost
I
the
think
script on EG Black, personally.
What's that?
I've lost,
lost
the
the
script on
script.
EG Black.
Oh,
I have
okay.
no confidence in that team at this point.
Okay.
because of all
Yep.
the roster moves, I can see them being a lower ranked team going into the season because it's so last minute. It feels like, right?
They don't even
Yeah.
have an opper.
No,
Exactly.
they don't. So what are they going to run, like a hybrid or something? But yeah, that seems kind of sketchy. That's actually why I did put Strafe over them. And I mean, the pre match that we saw for the Flom Cup, I was like, yeah, I mean, it's a preseason little tournament, but it's like there's a nice little glimpse to see what Strife did, especially adding Eris back into that roster. I was like, this is amazing. This is what we wanted to see. So
Yep.
That's why I had Strife over them too.
I mean, here's the thing, too. EG Black played with Junior at the Flom Cup. They got 2-1 by Vendetta pretty
Yeah.
handedly.
Yeah,
That's
that was
also why I have Vendetta so high up.
like
You
16.
gave your
but
scrim bucks on the Flom Cup, dude. Oh my goodness.
it's I know
our
it's
only preseason metric.
it's the only metric you can base it on
That's
for like
true.
what teams have been doing. And I mean, not to say it's going to be the end all be all, obviously not, but it just gives you a bit of a taste like, hey, well, I don't know where teams are at. You would think EG Black would have done better than they did,
Mhm.
and they didn't. And Nouns, like I said, Nouns, I don't want to talk about them, but yeah, they were in a sewer. So and the fact that we got to Strife Vendetta as a like grand final, like who saw that coming?
Nobody.
That's my point. Nobody
The
saw
NFL
it coming.
script writers.
Yeah, the script writers. We
I
all
mean, have
do.
you seen what's been going on in the NFL playoffs lately?
Oh my gosh. Ugh.
Everybody's getting more brazen with their scripts, I will say. It's becoming more and more apparent that these are indeed scripts.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Taking
Gotta
notes
mix
from the
things up.
WWE.
Yeah.
They really are. Yeah.
All right. So, number 7, I have Strife.
Okay, yeah.
Number 8, can I guess?
Take a wild guess. You're probably right.
EG Black.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Touche.
I couldn't put them outside of the top 8.
Yeah, that's fair.
because Nouns exists in their current form. Now, if this was Nouns of the first half of last season, EG Black's not making the top 8 for me personally.
Damn. Man, I'm excited. Can't wait for the season to start.
They
This
also
is gonna be
jumped in
so
the
good.
playoffs.
They did.
I feel like
So-
as well, like these next groups, like this next set, this 9 to 16, I guess 9 to 14 more so is going to be like a crapshoot. Like, this is where it could really go any direction. Like truly, wherever your mind goes, it could really well be exactly that. It could be the exact opposite. So I'm excited to see what you have here more so than anything else.
All right, I had Nouns at 9th, which was tentative for me.
That's a little bit high in my opinion.
I think they're better than some of the other teams that are going to be listed next. I think they're better than Davenport, who I have at 10th.
You have Davenport up there.
Yes.
Wow.
Because of Dane, number one reason there. And because I feel like the team is going to be more cohesive and have a much better team environment coming into this season with the additions of Dane and Austin. I feel like Davenport has a lot of potential to be a dangerous team in this season. They're just in a group which the top 5 are skill diffing them.
So we're
Okay.
saying in effect they are the 5th place team in this group.
6th.
So wait, we have MIBR, EG Black, Strife, Vendetta. Then Davenport would be 5th.
I have Nouns above.
Wait, no,
Davenport,
wait. You have down to a Davenport. I'm done. Okay.
Which
Interesting.
that's just because I feel like Davenport will lose a game they shouldn't,
Yeah, I can see that.
because they always do.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I definitely see that too.
Every team that just got moved up is always gonna have one of those antsy games. It's kind of just how it is.
Yeah.
Even if they've been here before, it's a new core, it's a new look. But I do agree. I think the pickups are huge for Davenport. I don't know if I'm that hot on them. Overall, I do think specifically the teams in the other group could still go toe to toe, maybe even best them in certain situations, but I can see where you're coming from.
Now you ready for number 11?
I think.
No.
All right, I'm
Detonate.
listening.
Oh,
Okay, who could have guessed? Who could have guessed? Detonate. I think the two closest teams in this situation down here is Detonate, Limitless.
Yep.
Truly, I think they are the two that are hardest to pin down, and so I'm gonna guess right now that your next one's Limitless.
Maybe. Laz, any comments? You had a pretty vitriolic reaction.
wait, you haven't even said Limitless yet, though.
No, I
Oh,
haven't.
he hasn't.
Yeah. Okay. And I guess this is where we both disagree. This is where we both had different opinions. I thought Limitless would be above Detonate. And you're gonna say Limitless or second or right after them, right?
Maybe.
That's what I said. That's what I'm assuming he's gonna do.
Maybe.
I think these two teams are like.
They are neck and neck. They are very neck and neck.
I think
yeah.
if they aren't next to each other, it's an issue.
I forgot. I was looking at the team list. I thought you forgot someone obvious. I was like, oh, never mind. He's good. That's why I reacted that way. Didn't say anything, so I'm fine with it. But I would say Limitless over Detonate.
I have Mythic next.
You have Mythic over Limitless.
For the sole reason that I think in a 1 BO3 setup, Mythic will beat Limitless.
You think this is we talked about limit or any team that moves up from advanced are going to lose a game they shouldn't, and you think this is the game they shouldn't lose, or do you think that Mythic are just better? You think it's the
Mythic,
game they
Mythic have the experience; they'll be able to win 1 BO3 against Limitless.
Okay, I can respect that, but I still hate it. I still hate that being the justification.
I hated putting Mythic above Limitless, but it's just like Limitless. I don't know if I can fully justify putting them above the gatekeepers of North America yet.
They have to
It's more
stay
of an
in for a season to
unknown.
go over them. Yeah. Once they get that first season under the belts, then they're above Mythic. That's the way I
Yes.
look at it.
100%. And depending on how Limitless does, they could find themselves in the top 8 next season.
Okay.
That team has a good core and good team play from what I've seen. It's just there's always that big curve, that learning curve when you can move up from advanced and get into ECL. I think especially with those top 4 teams in their group, they're going to get bodied by Pain, murdered by ATK, obliterated by Team 1.
Yeah.
How do they respond from those games is going to make or break their season.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, and I kind of was thinking Mythic because like Mythic's a tough one because again they are kind of like the gatekeepers, like you said. So it's I don't have them a lot on my ranking list, but yeah, they are kind of that team that can't ignore them. That they, yeah, okay. You persuaded me, Boggs.
I think it's fair.
It is fair. Yeah, it's got a logic behind it. I can agree with this. Yeah.
And that leaves how many teams now?
3.
Yeah. Limitless, Disconnected, and Villainous. Is it Villainous or is it? Is it
Disconnected,
4?
Villainous, and Noxious are the last 3.
Oh, Noxious. Yep.
Because I have Limitless right below Mythic, which I think was obvious by the way I was talking there.
Yeah, we didn't say Limitless, but you know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Limitless at 13. Just to have it on the record.
Okay.
14th, I have Disconnected.
Can work with that.
They're better than Villainous, and they're certainly better than Noxious. So.
Yeah, and they got
I think just based on what you said right there, I know the order.
I mean, I already
Rapid
told you last night who I had at 16.
Yeah, rapid fire this. I want to hear the last 3.
Yeah,
Villainous, then Noxious is my bottom 2 in that order, 15, 16.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Fair
Yeah,
assessment. So are we assuming that Villainous and Postmortem are going to be the 2 teams being auto relegated?
Correct.
Is that where we're standing? Okay. I wanted to make sure that we thought they were the worst in their group, but maybe they pulled off a win against a nervous team like Limitless, for example. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think
No.
I agree.
Anything,
I think
Villainous Disconnected is a close game.
Okay.
That one is where I could see something happening. I think Limitless can handle Villainous pretty easily. I think Limitless can handle Disconnected as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good assessment. Yeah, I think Disconnected is a funny team because again, it's like you got Darty, like Swan, Chewy. You have quite a few players that again have played some decent competition in ECL, but also inexperienced at the same time. Like I think we talked about this in episode 2, but like didn't Swan tweet something where he was like, "Yeah, very excited for playoffs, first time ever," and I was like, "Wait, what? You haven't ever been to playoffs before?"
No.
Then I had to like assess it, and it was the weirdest thing ever.
He's only played, I think, 2 seasons of ECL.
Yeah. But it feels like he's played longer to me. I mean, I know he used to be like at a pretty decent level in advance and stuff like that, but I always just, I don't know. I guess it was just one of those players. I'm like, yeah, he's got lots of experience. I'm like, oh wait, not really, I guess. Only a couple
He's that
seasons.
person that does. He always gets late stage advanced, you know. So I do think, just given his record, he's going to be deceptively more experienced than you would expect, given his stats at a surface level, because it feels like he's been here for so long.
Yeah.
I feel like that will give them the edge over Villainous, truly.
Yeah, I agree too. It's definitely a team just to keep a little bit of an eye on too, because I am curious to see how well they'll do, but I think they should be able to take down Villainous in decent fashion.
I agree.
Like
quick rapid fire here. ESL Pro League Conference. It's going to start a few hours after we get this uploaded. We're uploading this on the night of the 16th of January. So this is actually, wait, it starts on the 18th. Okay, cool. There's a whole day before this.
Yeah,
We're a day ahead of the
good.
curve, guys.
You're
Let's
good.
go.
You're good.
I had another question as well.
Yeah.
Because I forgot to ask it before this podcast. So there was the whole drama about Made in Brazil having to become a North American team for qualifiers to play in ECL. Does that mean all of these Brazilian teams and Latin American teams, etc., are indeed competing in North America to keep those points?
That would be correct as far as my understanding is. I haven't seen any direct documentation about it, but my assumption is MIBR is going to label themselves as an NA team. Pain was already labeled as an NA team.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
And same with
Team 1, I think the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got
And
3
also,
new North
speaking
American
of-
powerhouses, ladies and gentlemen.
Infinity has dropped their CSGO
Yeah,
roster
that's
and
sad.
has dropped out of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it's sad.
I'm not surprised, though. They've been disappointing for a long time. And we're hitting an esports financial bubble.
That's true. We are.
We're hitting a financial bubble in general, honestly.
Yes. You know what? Maybe we should get Ryan on for the next one so we can just talk about the esports bubble.
Oh, good grief. Oh, jeez.
The virus drinks started to get him on here.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, Pro League Conference. First game is Nouns MIBR. I don't think there's any question of how that ends.
Nouns for sure, yeah.
Nouns win it, baby.
Nouns are going to win
Let's
it. They're going to
go.
surprise attack it. They have the
North
silver
American
bullet.
supremacy. Yeah, true North American supremacy right here.
Yeah, they're smoking gun. They've been just saving strats. Flom Cup was a whole ruse for sure.
Psychological warfare.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, MIBR 2-0.
16-8, 16-5.
Oh, damn. He's coming with the scores too? Okay.
What kind of statistical analysis he ran to get that score?
Yeah, he
I'm
really
gonna say
broke it down.
16-6, and you know what? Really crush him 16-3. All right,
Wow.
16-6,
Statements.
16-3.
Nate, you did the
Uh,
same analysis I did.
What?
Ask
One-sided,
the gray
therefore
matter.
I'm just
Go
making
with
the
the
prediction
gut.
2-0. That's all I need to say. It's
all you
2-0.
say 2-0. Okay, not seeing a third map. That's unfortunate.
All right,
I
last to
think
say that's OT wins and quadruple overtime both games. That's
Yeah,
what he
there you
means by
go.
that.
All the distance.
Oh, I hope not.
I hope not, because I feel bad for some people.
I feel like the ATK made in Brazil game is going to be a really good litmus test for how ATK will look going into the season, more so than how made in Brazil will look.
Agreed. And I don't think there's any doubt it's going to be MIBR ATK making it through in the 2 spots that go to Pro League.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the obvious.
Wait,
Yeah.
when does Pro League start?
It'd be really funny if Nouns made it through though, with after
If
everything we
Nouns
said.
make it through,
Make it through, they must have somehow picked up George again.
Oh
So I got him
God.
back.
Oh my God, get him out of here.
oh man,
That's the only way it happens,
That's
man.
too
That's the only
much.
way it happens.
Ugh.
It's in Malta. It's February, late mid-February?
I believe so.
Yeah, late February, and Challenger League is January through March. So theoretically, ATK, MIBR, Nouns, 2 of those 3 teams have to get all of their ECL games done before February
22nd.
22nd.
But realistically, probably a week before that because they're gonna have to fly in a week before, acclimate, and practice.
Oh wait, there's gonna be Oh right, they redid the whole Pro League structure.
Yeah, they
Yes.
did. So every match matters.
Yeah, and it's gonna be group,
I
so
like.
maybe they'll have a little more time. It's not for sure, but it'll be tight. Regardless.
Well, I think we'll find out more, especially when they get the top 2 teams to figure it out, right?
Yep.
So yeah,
Is it? Do they go through all of Group A, then all of Group B? Is that how they're doing it?
Yeah, I think so.
that's how I understood
I
it.
think it goes Group A into Group B into Group C into
Yeah.
Group D.
Is the last
Which is great.
chance stage happen at the end of Group A or after all the regular stages of the groups are done?
I'm not sure how they're working that. I would assume it's after Group A because it just makes
'Cause it'd be last
logistical
chance.
sense.
Yeah, that would make
Makes sense to me too. Yeah.
I guess we'll
Just-
find
I was
out.
just curious.
Find out
We'll
February
find out.
22nd. Find it in a
out
month.
next time on ESL Pro League.
There you go.
I hope we find out earlier than February 22nd, Les, for everybody's sake. Find out the day it starts.
Well,
and
I'm just saying.
finishes.
I'm just saying things are not always the most organized. So I'm just saying, like, I don't
That's
have my
true.
hopes up.
That's true.
Hopes are in the gutter right now. So it's like 22nd, whatever. I expect to
NA
know by then.
grind set. Hopes are low, expectations are lower, and the outcome is even lower. Let's go.
Equals
Yeah, it's
profit.
like NA. How low can we bring the bar? NA Counter Strike. How do we limbo under that?
Oh my gosh, isn't it true?
You're digging holes to get underneath. Let's be honest.
I think they're having to phase through different dimensions at this point.
Yeah, I think so. I think those 2 teams will make it through. So that'll be, I think, quick and swift. That should be good. And then I think you had another fun topic you wanted to bring up, didn't you, Boggs?
Yeah, 2 more. First of all, the Blast Major RMRs are going to be localized, so the Americas RMR is going to be in Mexico. So, Nate, you okay there?
Goodbye, Nate. Goodbye, Nate.
Did he just drop?
Yeah, he totally dropped. Look at that face. Like,
He's like,
gone.
Mexico. When am I going? I need my margaritas, man.
He's gone, dude. He's gone.
He just dipped.
Oh man, see you, Nate. Nice knowing you. Well, let's
Yeah.
keep it going, Boggs. It's okay. I can
Yep.
do it.
We'll just have Nate's face right over there.
Yeah, we'll just keep him in the picture.
Yeah. So it's going to be in Monterrey, Mexico. I mean, the miners used to be localized. Oh, he's back.
Hey, welcome back, Nate.
Yeah, I've returned. My internet's
Let's go.
weak.
You
What's
didn't
up?
die.
I never left. I never left.
Sure.
I was always
bud,
here.
Sure.
I said this is so sad. Can I get 5 likes? That's about all I said.
Okay.
I was gonna ask why wasn't the RMR going to be in the Eiffel Tower? I think is what I actually said because
Oh
I
my
know they said
gosh.
something at the Eiffel Tower. I couldn't remember what it was.
They did their announcement of this localization of the RMRs at the Eiffel Tower and some
Okay,
other
well-
details.
I don't know what you guys said, but I think localization is a cool idea.
I think it's going to be bad because we all know how the visa issues work.
Yeah, I agree. These issues are
It's
always
a
been
reason we
the
stopped
bane.
doing it.
Yeah, visa issues are a big thing for us, right? So it's like, yeah, I'm not keen on it personally.
Oh, okay. So my take was wrong.
Sorry,
That's
man.
unfortunate. That's
2 to
unfortunate.
1. 2 kings against 1.
Yep.
2 kings against 1.
What is this? The The King Parliament.
Yeah, there you go.
The King
House of
Council.
Lords. The
There
House of
we go.
Lords.
I'm excited for this though. Like I really am excited for Blast having the major and running the RMR and everything. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. I really don't know what to expect right now, to be honest. Like I've been trying to think about it over the break. I'm like, couldn't tell you. Really
Blast
couldn't
is
tell
my
you.
favorite in terms of production. They always
Yes.
knock it out of the park with a B-roll in tournaments that don't need B-roll necessarily. So I'm very excited to see what their B-roll is going into this major when B-roll really gets to shine, you know? So
Mhm.
I think it'll
I'm
be good.
so excited. I'm so excited to see. Just sit there and watch, honestly. I don't nowadays, especially I don't sit down and watch Counter-Strike through and through. I don't watch the in-betweens. I kind of mute it, go do something else. It's the ADHD mindset of today. But I think the Blast major is something I'm going to have to sit through because I'm so excited to see what happens.
I sit down, watch game over, go do other things, come back for next game. I'm the same.
Even
with sports
halftime, I do the
intermissions.
same. Yeah.
I will get up and go and leave because I could do other things that I should probably be doing instead of watching the game. So I love Blast production quality as a whole. I'm hoping the major goes off very well. I'm glad it's going to a different TO too for the first time in a long time. And it should be good. Blast does good work. My main concern is what will be the aftermath of the localized RMR, particularly for North America. I would also add Asia in there as well. And maybe even the CIS region might have some issues. But other than that, I think it's going to be good. And I have a passport.
Yeah. Yeah, passports.
Make sure
Get
you
this
have a passport, okay? I got mine. I'll actually show you all the numbers right now if you want. No, I want that.
It's
Not
nice
that,
and
no.
dark blue, Nate.
Yes, it is actually, and the page is a lot thicker. I had my old my kid's passport. The page with your face and all your funny numbers on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot thicker
thick
and a lot more substantive now.
Mhm.
Laz, is
But-
yours red?
No, it's just it's like a dark blue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like ours. It's just like ours actually.
it's-
I think it looks really similar to yours, to be honest. Yeah.
Huh. It's probably got a maple leaf on it somewhere, though.
It does. It does on the main page with your picture. It's like embedded behind your face, and yeah, it's a thing. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. So it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah,
Cool.
It's like
it's pretty
Canadian money.
It's pretty poggers, as you would say.
Apparently, if you scratch certain parts of Canadian money, it smells like maple syrup.
Oh, jeez,
I've been told that. I don't know if it's true.
not true.
Oh, okay.
You can't burn it though. I've been told that.
It is plastic.
It
It's plastic. You cannot burn it. You cannot tear it.
you can, yeah, it
It's pretty
doesn't
cool.
Waterproof.
barely wrinkles. Yeah, like it's pretty cool. You can
It's cool,
do it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, despite it being Monopoly money.
This was our subtle way of saying we all have valid passports. If you need us, let us know.
Yeah, we are
Anywhere
available
in the
for
world.
anything. Yeah,
We are available.
anytime.
Phone operator
anywhere.
just standing by.
We are waiting.
B-roll, C-roll, D-roll, E-roll.
Any
Z
roll.
roll
Yeah,
or Z
really.
roll.
Listen, I'll be a water boy. I don't care. I'll do anything.
That's true. I will like the tennis
equipment
court
manager.
people
Yeah.
running down the court to grab the ball, but grabbing somebody's mouse
exactly.
that they threw, something like
Yeah.
that,
Just have mouses ready or mice ready. If you're just like, oh, is this yours? Yeah, yeah. Here you go. Here you go.
Yeah, you have a new
got you,
G Pro that you crack out the box and just slap on
Yeah.
their desk as you run by. Yeah, exactly.
Change
That's
your
what
mouse
I'd do.
skates. I get it. Ready.
Yeah, it's like it's like the NASCAR pits as fast as possible. You can timed. Oh, that'd be so cool.
My monitor's black. All right.
We have one more topic to discuss.
Yes,
We
right?
do. We
One
have
serious
one
topic
final one.
to end
Oh,
this out
no.
from our joviality.
Let's hear it.
Relegation. Is it broken? Does it need to be fixed? What should we do with it? Nate, let's start with you.
I have the strongest feelings knowing it's wrong, but I have no easy way to fix it. Truly. I feel like you need to give those teams that path into ECL from advanced. But I also feel like it punishes the teams from last season's advanced too much. There's no easy way to do it. I've mentioned something like giving a grace period to a team like it just came up from advanced. They can't get cut immediately the following season because I feel like that's when teams suffer and then they just collapse because they get cut immediately after because they're just not quite there yet, but they were on the way there. It's hard. It's hard. There's no easy way to put it. Like if you leave too many teams in ECL, it will stagnate. But if you don't give teams enough time, they won't blossom into the ECL teams they could have.
Well, I definitely agree. I think personally, I actually kind of like watching relegation because I like watching those matches. I like seeing those teams kind of like fighting for their lives. I feel like it adds like a lot at stake. I agree though. I wish there was a way that we could like be like more of a blessing or like some kind of growing period for some teams. Like I thought, well, I threw some shade on Davenport, but I mean Davenport actually did have some decent results considering they lost a lot of matches. They had competitive games. It was the same with Consti's old team. I mean that was oh, what are they called? It's gonna drive me nuts. Oh, Boggs, help me. I'll get back.
7 a.m.
No,
No, not 7.
it was like it was named after like a little monster or something. Oh, it's gonna drive me insane. I'll remember it. I'll come back to it. But anyways, like my point is, I'll figure it out. But either way, I would say that I think relegation's good again for the competition, but I wish there was a way that there was a little bit more forgiveness as well. Like in that, like Nate said, I do agree, but I don't know what it would be. Really don't know what would be the secret recipe to fixing it.
I agree. I don't know what possible fix there could be. I mean, I don't think auto relegation for 3 slots each group is fact. I think you also do need your 1 auto relegation slot per group. I think you need that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Or it could be 1 auto relegation slot total, and the bottom 2 teams fight to either play the relegation tournament or go down to advanced. That
Axolotls.
I was literally typing it. I was like, it's Axolotls. It's the team I couldn't remember.
Axolotls.
Yeah.
It's that little creature. That's not a monster. It's an
animal.
Well, I couldn't remember it. I just couldn't. I was like, it's some kind of thing and creature. I thought it was like a monster,
a gremlin or something. Dude.
No, but I remember
acting like a Beowulf reference.
I just remember saying their names so much on a couple qualifiers I did, and I was like, man, they were impressive. And again, that was a team where I talked a lot about where they're like a team that just didn't do well in the season, but they took every team to the edge. Like they had competitive games. They just couldn't make it work. And that's where I was like, it's so sad to see a team like that where they got auto relegated. They were out. They were like, they won 1 game the whole season. So I was like, goodbye. So yeah, not deserving. Bring him back.
I mean, Consti's got a roster now, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah. I did like that team though. I thought they were a pretty fun team to watch.
They were.
But yes. Boggs, what do you feel about relegation?
I don't know. I feel like half of the time, advanced teams just aren't good enough for ECL. And at the same time, the same was true for the teams that moved up the last season anyway. I have very mixed feelings about it. Because I almost feel like it should be harder to get into ECL than it is already. Because I feel like it would really truly weed out the weak and leave the best teams in. At the same time, teams will collapse because of the slightest fluttering of a bush. North American teams are the house of straw. The big bad wolf comes walking by and it collapses. It doesn't even have to huff and puff. The house just blows on down.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's more of a culture problem than anything else that is the core, the crux of the issue in North America. So I think relegation is more of a symptom to a deeper sickness. Not really the problem, just that annoying rash that everyone sees.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I know you guys were able to cast a couple of the relegations in your history, but like I said, whenever I get to watch them, I'm always excited because it's like there's so much on the line. Like there's so much on the line, so I just feel like all the teams just put 110% in. Oh, I mean they always do, but it just adds some pretty cool storyline to it. But it is weird that there's just some teams that deserve that they should be in there, and then it just falls apart just because of a crummy placement in the group or luck of the draw and just matches. And like I said, Axolotls were kind of that story for me. Team that definitely had so much potential to do way better in another season, but they were out.
Yeah, I feel like it brings out the best and worst in teams. Like you see them, that raw emotion that you mentioned. It's when things really get real. Like, oh, we could lose our spot this season, but it's also where the scaredest Counter-Strike is played. Like we talked about, that rain game versus Limitless was a sleeper.
Yeah,
truly, it was so slow. And I feel like that was a point where you could say like these teams don't deserve to play in ECL because they're playing so scared. They aren't playing themselves. When it matters most, you should be playing your own game. And they were not playing their own game. They were playing way too slow. So I do agree. It is fun to watch. It's when the emotions are the most raw and the most visceral, but it's also the point where people really do get scared and where it really does become just ugly Counter-Strike.
It's very disparate, isn't it? Where you'll have one game that's phenomenal, flying high, the emotions are roaring and just everyone is engaged, and it's great. It's a raw street fight of Counter-Strike. And then the next game is just, what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
Every single round takes 3 minutes, and everyone's just making errors upon errors. It's you get the best and the worst, I feel, in relegation.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think so too.
especially when you get to the tail end of it, at the very end, like that last spot, that's where I feel like a lot of it really comes down to the end. Because at that point, you're theoretically not getting the best competition. You're not getting the best teams left, or like the best teams in the overall tournament at that stage. And it seems like the last few ones, while there's arguably more on the line because there's no second chances after that, the game's quality suffer from that. They don't have the mental strength yet to really just bear down, buckle through that, and roll. Because the best teams are the teams that handle the pressure and play like there is none.
Yeah, I agree. No, I definitely agree with that. I don't think I have any disagreement at all, to be honest. Good point.
I think we can all come to that conclusion where it's a necessary thing, it's an entertaining thing at times, but it's a very difficult thing that it's just necessary. I feel like I wish there was a way where we could add more nuance, but adding more nuance only creates more unfairness, and it kind of has to stick around as is.
I agree. I don't think you can fix it. I think you have to fix NA first, which...
Good luck. Just good luck.
We've
Good
been
luck.
talking about that for how many years now?
Yeah, exactly.
Since the continent actually split away from Pangea, is when we were talking about it. Let's be honest. It's always been broken.
Yeah.
It always
Oh,
will
man.
be.
Oh, man. Always will be.
So who built the Serpent Beds?
Oh, my gosh. This guy.
Alrighty. Well, guys, I think we broke down Season 44. A couple other topics along the way. Any final thoughts before we kick this one out and get ready for the season and get ready for episode 4?
You wanna shotgun all of Group A and Group B, what our predictions were, just so we have it like all summarized in literally like a minute, no context, just what we said would happen or what you said would happen.
All right.
Let's just take the next hour and a bit and just put it in a 10-second segment.
Yeah, this is
Quick.
Okay.
shorts, baby. This are the YouTube shorts.
All right. Group A, MIBR, Vendetta, Strife, Evil Geniuses, Nouns, Davenport University, Mythic, and Noxious. Group B, Pain Gaming, ATK, Team 1, Timberman, Detonate, Limitless, Disconnected, and Villainous. And then
Fair.
overall rankings, Pain Gaming, MIBR, ATK, Vendetta, Team 1, Timberman, Strife, Evil Geniuses, Nouns, Davenport, Detonate, Mythic, Limitless, Disconnected, Villainous, and Noxious. Woo, that was a mouthful.
Good job, man.
I wasn't expecting the overall, I'll be honest. That was a little bit of flair right there. He was proving that he can still know how to speak. He's proven that he's still ready to commentate when the time comes.
I did speech and debate when I was a kid, okay? We had to get like 30 minutes of information into 8-minute speeches.
That means talk fast and elaborate on nothing.
Precisely.
Which is exactly what we did. Perfect.
Those were good days.
Yeah, good times. Good times. I got no final comments. I mean, really just excited for season 44, and I'm excited for episode 4. I had to think about that. Episode 4. I had a big break. I was like, how many episodes? I was like, oh man, it's been a while. But I'm excited for us to talk more about that, in the middle of the season, beginning of the season, just to kind of see what's going on and then see if our predictions were just totally haywire or if we're onto something. Maybe we do know a few things.
I hope so. That's kind of our shtick, isn't it?
Yeah,
That
we
kinda know what
we
we're
should
talking
know.
about?
We do usually do, but you just never know with these teams and these players. So you're just like,
True.
It's North
Sometimes-
America. You can act like you know everything, but nothing will come true.
that is very true. It's
Well,
a
'cause
very
even
good
the
point.
teams don't know what's going on. It's the definition of how can the enemy know what I'm doing if we don't know what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a classic. The NA gambit.
Yep. Hey, it won us a world war, so.
Oh my
Which
gosh!
one?
On that
One or
note,
two?
on that note,
On that note, folks, thanks for watching. Please do give us those 5-star
Yes,
reviews
do it.
on the podcast platform of choice. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. Twitters are there in the bottom left and linked in the descriptions, both on podcast and on YouTube. And we hope to see you again for episode 4, as well as ESL Challenger League season 44. Well, it's the year of the rabbit, boys. Let's hop out of here.
see you later.
I am the podcast. Okay. All right, I'm ready.
Are you? Are you the hot take? Are you the king of the hot take? Actually, you are the king of the hot takes.
Hot takes are always just because I'm misinformed and garbage at making predictions. Let's be honest.
Nate, the
I'm
king of
ready.
the hot takes. That's my hot take for the episode.
I'm ready. All right.
Woo!
I'm ready.
All right.